when football legend Cristiano Ronaldo surprised Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traoré, with a gift during a live global broadcast no one expected. What happened next? Instead of a simple "thank you," Traoré's response sent shock waves through the football world, and beyond, with grace and humility he turned a personal moment into a powerful statement of national pride and unity. That unexpected act didn't just capture hearts, it ignited a viral movement, celebrating respect, dignity, and the unifying power of sports. What followed changed how millions saw leadership both on and off the pitch. The stadium buzzed with energy, thousands of fans chanting and waving flags from all corners of the globe. It was the day of the International Football Gala, an event bringing together the world's greatest players, diplomats, and influencers to celebrate the sport's power to unite. Amid the dazzling lights and roaring applause, Cristiano Ronaldo stood poised to receive an award for his unparalleled contributions to football. Backstage, a special guest waited, Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré, invited to attend as part of a cultural exchange, highlighting Africa's rising influence in sports and leadership. Though worlds apart in their fields, both men shared a reputation for discipline, determination, and a quiet strength that inspired millions. As the ceremony progressed, the host announced a surprise segment. Ronaldo would present a symbolic gift to a distinguished guest embodying the spirit of resilience and hope. Cameras panned to Traoré, who approached the stage with a calm yet purposeful stride. Ronaldo smiled warmly, holding out a beautifully framed jersey, his own number 7 signed and inscribed with a personal message to Ibrahim Traoré, true champion for his people. The crowd erupted into applause as Traoré accepted the gift, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. What happened next stunned everyone. Instead of a simple nod or handshake, Traoré lifted the jersey high and turned to the audience, his voice steady but filled with passion. "This gift is not mine alone," he said, eyes scanning the crowd. "It belongs to every child in Burkina Faso who dreams of a better future, to every mother and father who sacrifices so their family can thrive, to every young person fighting to rise above challenges with hope and courage." The crowd grew silent, hanging on his every word. In football, as in leadership, greatness is measured not by trophies or titles but by the impact we have on those who believe in us. "I dedicate this jersey to the spirit of Africa, resilient, proud, and united." Ronaldo nodded in admiration, visibly moved by the sincerity. Cameras zoomed in as Traoré gently folded the jersey and handed it to a young boy standing at the front row, a youth ambassador from Burkina Faso who had traveled for the event. The boy's eyes sparkled as he held the jersey, and a ripple of emotion swept through the stadium. Social media exploded instantly. Clips of Traoré's heartfelt speech and the symbolic passing of the jersey went viral within minutes. Hashtags like #Jersey for Hope and #Traoré moment trended worldwide. Football fans and political commentators alike praised the moment's authenticity and humility. Commentators marveled at how a simple gift had become a powerful symbol of unity, bridging the worlds of sports and politics in a way rarely seen before. Analysts predicted that this viral moment could inspire a new wave of youth empowerment initiatives across Africa and beyond. In the midst of the buzz, Traoré remained focused. For him, this was not a personal triumph but a call to action. That evening, as the stadium lights dimmed and the crowd dispersed, the world had witnessed more than a ceremony. They had seen respect meet humility, celebrity meet leadership, and a gift transformed into a beacon of hope. And for Ibrahim Traoré, this moment was just the beginning. In the days following the gala, the viral moment between Cristiano Ronaldo and Ibrahim Traoré captured hearts worldwide. But for Traoré, it was more than just a fleeting headline. It was an opportunity to turn inspiration into action. Back in Burkina Faso, news outlets replayed the speech non-stop. The image of Traoré handing the signed jersey to a young boy resonated deeply with people across the nation, symbolizing a promise to the country's youth. For many, it was a sign that their leader genuinely cared about their future beyond politics or policy. Traoré gathered his closest advisors the morning after the event. "This moment has opened a door," he said. "We must walk through it, not just with words but with concrete steps." His vision was clear: harness the power of sport and culture to create opportunities for young people in Burkina Faso and throughout Africa. The signed jersey was a symbol, yes, but symbols needed to be matched with substance. Within weeks, his government announced a new national initiative called Champions of Tomorrow, a comprehensive youth empowerment program combining sports training, education, and community development. The goal was to provide vulnerable children with access to facilities, scholarships, and mentorship, helping them develop talents, both on and off the field. International partners quickly took notice. Football clubs across Europe, inspired by the viral story, pledged support through equipment donations and coaching workshops. No specializing in youth development approach. Traoré team offering expertise and resources to expand the program's reach. Traoré personally met with young athletes, visiting training centers and schools. He listened to their dreams and struggles, making it clear that their voices mattered in shaping the country's future. His humility and genuine interest won admiration and trust. Meanwhile, the global football community embraced the narrative. Cristiano Ronaldo publicly praised Chorus initiative in interviews, encouraging fans to support the program. Other football icons followed suit, using their platforms to spotlight youth empowerment in Africa. Social media remained abuzz. Hashtags like #ScienceOff Tomorrow trended not just for the moment, but for the movement. Influencers, artists, and activists created content celebrating the idea that sport could be a vehicle for positive social change. But Traoré understood the challenges ahead. Access to quality education and sports infrastructure was limited in many rural areas. Poverty, conflict, and political instability still threatened progress. The program needed sustained commitment and collaboration to address these issues. Traoré worked to integrate the initiative with broader development plans, linking it to health services, vocational training, and local economic projects. The idea was holistic. Empowering youth meant nurturing their minds, bodies, and communities. In Parliament, debates arose. Some politicians questioned the feasibility of such ambitious programs during times of economic strain, but public support was strong, and Traoré's team argued that investing in youth was investing in the nation's future stability and prosperity. International media began framing the story as a model for other African countries. Journalists highlighted how a simple act of respect between a football star and a president had blossomed into a movement with real-world impact. As months passed, pilot projects launched in several provinces with early successes, fueling optimism. Young participants spoke of newfound hope and opportunity. Schools reported increased attendance and engagement. Coaches praised the holistic approach that blended athletic training with life skills. For Ibrahim Traoré, this was the fulfillment of a promise made not only to the boy in the stadium but to millions watching and believing in the power of unity, humility, and national pride. The viral moment had become a catalyst for change, reminding the world that leadership is not just about speeches or titles but about uplifting others and inspiring hope where it is needed most. As the Champions of Tomorrow program gained momentum, Ibrahim Traoré's vision began to ripple beyond Burkina Faso's borders, inspiring a continental dialogue about the role of sports in nation building and youth empowerment. African leaders, policy makers, and influencers took note, intrigued by how a simple gift and heartfelt response could spark meaningful change. At the African Union headquarters, discussions were underway to explore how similar initiatives could be adopted across member states. A special committee was formed to study the intersection of sports education and social development with Burkina Faso's model serving as a key case study. Traoré was invited to present his approach, emphasizing humility, inclusivity, and cultural pride as foundations for success. Meanwhile, back home, the program's pilot sites began showing promising results. In Ouagadougou, young athletes trained on refurbished fields, their laughter and determination echoing through neighborhoods once marred by poverty and unrest. Schools partnered with local clubs, integrating physical education with leadership workshops and academic tutoring. The holistic focus fostered not only athletic skills but also confidence, discipline, and community spirit. One young girl, Amonata, embodied the program's impact. Growing up in a small village, she had dreamed of becoming a football star but lacked access to proper training or equipment. Through Champions of Tomorrow, she received coaching, mentorship, and a scholarship to continue her education. Her story spread quickly, inspiring other families to support their children's participation. The program also encouraged gender equality in sports, breaking down cultural barriers that had long limited girls' opportunities. Female teams flourished, competing proudly in regional tournaments and gaining recognition on social media and local news outlets. Traoré leadership extended beyond administration. He made it a point to attend matches, speak at schools, and engage with youth directly. His accessibility and sincerity strengthened trust and motivated participants to Dream bigger. International donors and corporate sponsors responded to the success stories, providing funding for expanded facilities, equipment, and training programs. The collaboration between government, civil society, and private sector exemplified a new model for sustainable development anchored in community ownership. However, challenges remained. Political opponents attempted to politicize the initiative, questioning its costs and priorities amid economic pressures. Traoré addressed critics, publicly reaffirming the long-term benefits of investing in youth as essential to national security and prosperity. In a televised address, he stated, "The strength of a nation lies in its children. When we nurture their talents and spirits, we plant seeds for a future where Africa leads with dignity and innovation." The viral moment that started as a simple exchange between two men had evolved into a movement, reshaping how Africa viewed sports and leadership. It challenged stereotypes and highlighted the continent's potential when its people were empowered to lead their own stories. Young people across Africa began to see themselves reflected, not just in athletes or politicians, but as agents of change, builders of a new legacy grounded in respect, humility, and pride. Traoré initiative inspired cultural expressions. 2 songs, art and literature celebrated the fusion of sports and identity. Documentaries captured Aminata's journey and others like hers, showcasing the transformative power of opportunity. Even Cristiano Ronaldo remained engaged, visiting Burkina Faso to witness the progress firsthand and encouraging global audiences to support similar efforts. As the sun set over Ouagadougou, a new generation laced up their boots, ready to run toward their dreams, not just on the football field but in every arena of life. The gift that Ronaldo gave was no longer just a jersey. It had become a symbol of hope, unity, and a future reclaimed by Africa's youth and leaders alike. Months passed since the initial viral moment, and the momentum behind Champions of Tomorrow only grew stronger. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership had transformed what began as a symbolic gesture into a nationwide movement that reshaped the hopes and ambitions of an entire generation. Yet with growth came new challenges and opportunities that tested the resilience and vision of everyone involved. One crisp morning, met with his team in the presidential office. Reports from various provinces showed that youth participation in sports and education programs had doubled, but some regions still faced significant obstacles: lack of infrastructure, security concerns, and cultural resistance in more conservative communities. "We cannot let these challenges divide us," Traoré said firmly. "Our children deserve the same chance no matter where they live. We must deepen our commitment." The government allocated additional funds, partnered with local leaders, and launched awareness campaigns to encourage communities to embrace the program's values. Traoré emphasized the importance of inclusion, not just for boys or urban youth but for girls, rural areas, and marginalized groups. At a stadium packed for a regional tournament, Traoré addressed a crowd filled with cheering families and young athletes. "Every time you step onto the field," he said, "you carry the dreams of your country. You show that with unity and perseverance we can overcome anything." The event featured friendly matches between boys and girls teams, celebrating equality and breaking down long-standing barriers. Aminata, the young girl whose journey had inspired many, scored the winning goal in the final match. Her triumph was a moment of pride, not just for her family but for all who had supported the initiative. Media coverage highlighted these successes, and international observers praised Burkina Faso's approach as a model of how sports can foster social cohesion and empowerment. Yet Traoré remained grounded, knowing the work was far from over. Back in the capital, a coalition of African leaders invited Traoré to share his experience at a summit focused on youth development and sustainable growth. His speech emphasized humility and the power of listening to those most affected by poverty and exclusion. "We must lead with empathy," he said. "True leadership is not about grandstanding, but about lifting others. When we invest in our children's potential, we invest in the future of our continent." The summit sparked new collaborations across borders. Neighboring countries expressed interest in adopting similar programs tailored to their unique cultural contexts. Pan-African organizations pledged support, creating a network of champions initiatives dedicated to education, health, and sports. Meanwhile, grassroots movements flourished. Local coaches, teachers, and volunteers worked tirelessly to expand access, often under difficult conditions. Stories of resilience, friendship, and personal growth multiplied, inspiring documentaries, music, and art celebrating This new wave of African pride Tro's relationship with Cristiano Ronaldo remained symbolic but meaningful. Ronaldo's social media shoutouts and occasional visits brought global attention and resources, amplifying the impact of local efforts. Their friendship became a symbol of how different worlds, sports and politics could unite for a common purpose. Yet despite the accolades, Traoré faced criticism from some quarters, accusing him of diverting attention from other pressing national issues. He welcomed debate, seeing it as part of a healthy democracy, but remained unwavering in his conviction. The future we build for our children cannot wait, he told journalists. Empowerment is the foundation for peace, progress, and pride. As dusk fell over Burkina Faso, young athletes trained under flood lights, their determination a testament to the power of hope and opportunity. The jersey Ronaldo gave had transcended its material value, becoming a beacon for a nation's dreams and a continent's rebirth through humility, vision, and unity. Ibrahim Traoré showed that leadership was about more than power. It was about service, inspiration, and the courage to believe in a better tomorrow. The ripple effects of the Champions of Tomorrow initiative continued to expand, reaching corners of Burkina Faso that had long been overlooked. Traoré's vision had ignited a movement, but sustaining it required constant vigilance, creativity, and unwavering commitment. In a small village near the border, a newly built sports center stood as a testament to what could be achieved through partnership and hope. The center buzzed with activity, children practicing drills, teachers leading literacy classes, and community members organizing workshops on health and nutrition. The energy was infectious and the sense of possibility palpable. One afternoon Traoré visited the village unexpectedly. The children erupted in cheers as he walked onto the field, but he remained focused on listening. He spoke with families, teachers, and local leaders, learning about their struggles and aspirations. The challenges were real: scarce resources, economic hardships, and cultural barriers, but so was the determination to overcome them. Change doesn't come easy, Traoré told the gathered crowd, but it comes through each one of you believing that your dreams matter. Back in the capital, the government launched a nationwide campaign, encouraging all citizens to support youth development in their communities. Radio programs, billboards, and social media shared stories of young athletes who had benefited from the program, highlighting their growth both on and off the field. Amonata, now a national youth ambassador, toured schools and villages sharing her journey. Her message was simple but powerful: with support and determination, we can all become champions. Traoré's administration also prioritized building infrastructure, allocating funds to improve schools, clinics, and sports facilities. Partnerships with international donors brought in new technology and training programs, empowering local coaches and educators to expand their impact. As the program matured, it began addressing deeper social issues. Workshops on gender equality, leadership, and conflict resolution were integrated into training sessions, helping young people develop not only athletic skills but also critical life skills. The initiative fostered a sense of pride and unity that transcended ethnic and regional divides. Football matches became celebrations of culture and community, where differences were set aside in favor of shared goals. Internationally, Burkina Faso's approach was hailed as innovative and inspiring. African leaders invited Traoré to speak at global forums on development, youth empowerment, and peace-building. His message consistently emphasized humility, listening, and partnership. Despite the successes, Traoré remained vigilant. Political opposition and economic challenges tested the program's sustainability. Some critics accused the initiative of being a distraction from more pressing issues. Traoré welcomed constructive criticism but maintained that investing in youth was foundational to addressing all other challenges. One evening, as he reviewed reports with his team, Traoré reflected on the journey from that fateful moment when Ronaldo's jersey had sparked a conversation. The program had grown beyond expectations, but the real victory was in the hope rekindled in the hearts of millions. He knew the road ahead would require continued dedication, innovation, and courage. But as he looked at photos of young athletes smiling, studying, and dreaming, he understood that leadership was about empowering others to rise. The gift that had once seemed symbolic had transformed into a movement, one that united a nation, inspired a continent, and redefined what it meant to lead with respect, humility, and pride. In the quiet moments before sleep, Traoré often thought of the boy in the stadium who had first held that jersey. That boy represented every child in Burkina Faso and Africa, with dreams too big to ignore. And so the journey continued, one of hope, action, and The unwavering belief that the future belongs to those who dare to dream and work together to make those dreams real. The Champions of Tomorrow program had become more than a government initiative. It was a national movement woven into the very fabric of Burkina Faso's identity. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership had sparked a transformation that inspired hope, pride, and unity among millions. Yet the true measure of success lay not in reports or accolades but in the lives changed and the futures rewritten. At a grand ceremony in Ouagadougou, the government unveiled the newly built National Youth Sports Academy, a state-of-the-art facility dedicated to nurturing young talent from every corner of the country. The academy symbolized a commitment to the long-term development of Burkina Faso's youth, providing world-class training alongside education and mentorship. Traoré stood before an audience that included students, coaches, parents, international partners, and dignitaries. His voice was steady and humble as he addressed the crowd. This academy is a home for dreams, he said, a place where every child can find the tools, guidance, and encouragement to become a champion not only in sport but in life. He told the story of the boy who first received Cristiano Ronaldo's jersey, a symbol that had ignited a movement far beyond its material worth. The boy's hope had become the hope of a nation, a spark that ignited change in classrooms, on fields, and within communities. The journey has not been easy. Traoré acknowledged, we have faced obstacles, doubters, and setbacks, but every challenge has only strengthened our resolve to invest in the future. Amonata, now a rising football star and youth leader, joined Traoré on stage. She spoke of how the program had changed her life, giving her a chance to pursue her passion and education. I stand here today because someone believed in me, she said. This academy is a promise to all of us that our dreams are valid and our future is bright. The ceremony closed with a youth football match that drew cheers from families and visitors alike, a joyful celebration of community and possibility. International media covered the event extensively. Commentators highlighted how a simple gift from a global football icon had blossomed into a transformative movement led by a humble president who prioritized his people's dignity and potential. Across Africa, other nations began adopting similar models, tailoring programs to their unique contexts while sharing a common goal to empower their youth and build resilient futures through sport and education. For Ibrahim Traoré, the true victory was seeing a generation empowered to lead, innovate, and uplift their communities. The Champions of Tomorrow initiative had become a beacon of hope, unity, and progress, a testament to what could be achieved when leadership is rooted in humility, respect, and a genuine commitment to serve. Late that night, as the academy's lights dimmed and the city settled, Traoré reflected on the journey from a heartfelt exchange with a football legend to a national movement that changed countless lives. The path had been extraordinary. He knew the road ahead would require continued dedication and collaboration, but he was confident, because when a nation invests in its children not just as athletes but as whole human beings, it invests in a future where dreams are no longer limited by circumstance. And so the story of the gift, the boy, and the president became a legend not just of football or politics but of hope, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of a people determined to rise. The future belonged to the champions of tomorrow, and their time had